When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
There's a lot that could impress you about the all-new Honda Prologue EV. True, it's got class-leading passenger space and clean, thoughtful design and intuitive technology. But what really sets the Prologue apart from the competition is that it's more than an EV. It's a Honda. Honda, the power of dreams. Visit honda.com/prologue to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
Welcome back, Ram fans. This is Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are a member of the Fans First Sports Network. You can also follow us on YouTube. Our channel is at LA Rams Up. We have video content there as well as our podcasts. I will be joined often by my football gurus, Ian and Paul. Hey, we're not Rams insiders. We're just fans who love talking about the NFL and our LA Rams. Let's get to it. Welcome back, Ram fans. Episode 487 of Rams Up. We're going to get to some news and notes, and then I'm going to give you the questions I need answered as we head into training camp. 14 questions I think I have. Stuff all of us fans should be focused on, looking for the answers wherever they may be. Before we get started, episode 487, I'm going to talk about a player who wore number 87, tight end Billy Truax. 6'5", 240 pounds, out of LSU, played for the Rams for 7 years from 1964 to 1970. Converted from outside linebacker, briefly played defensive end for the Rams, and they finally just threw him in at tight end to see what he could do. Ended up eventually leading the Rams in all-time yardage as a tight end until he was passed by Tyler Higbee. Still number 22 on the Rams' all-time receiving list. Traded along with wide receiver Wendell Tucker to the Cowboys in exchange for Lance Rensel. That was in 1971. Billy Truax, our number 87 for the Los Angeles Rams. Well, Rams training camp well underway, and unfortunately, the biggest news is a real bummer, bad news. Darion Kendrick, a cornerback that was probably set to get a lot of playing time, a lot of snaps, tore his ACL on Thursday. Man, this really sucks. Non-contact injury strikes again. And he was a potential starter if Trey White is not ready. Now, there is some good news on that front as well. Trey White, a full participant. They're going to be managing his load, but apparently when he was out there going full speed, so that's good news. But Kendrick looks like he's out for the year. Wish him the best in his recovery. Now, another bit to be concerned about. Last play of practice on Thursday, Darius Williams, the other starting cornerback, came up limping after covering a deep pass. Don't want to overreact to this, something to keep an eye on. The word on the street, it's some sort of hamstring tweak. Now, those things seem to linger, but time is on his side as far as opening day goes, though. So suddenly a concern about the Rams cornerback room, and McVay saying he would not count out bringing back Ahkello Witherspoon, who's still out there. Other news out of camp, the tight ends are flashing. Hunter Long, Davis Allen. Allen had a TD. Colby Parkinson. Going to be an open competition there. I know everyone's assuming it's going to be Parkinson. We'll see. And Tyler Higbee was there mentoring all of those tight ends, so that's good to see. Kobe Turner dealing with a groin strain, so he didn't participate. And the pass rush apparently looking really good. Had a couple of hand sacks, touch sacks on the quarterback, so that's good news. Man, these guys got to step up. This group has so much potential. We just need to see the real thing on the field, and maybe we saw the first glimpse of that on Thursday. What else? Other news, Cooper Kupp and Kyren Williams both emerging in the top 100 players in the NFL. Kyren came in at number 78, Cooper Kupp at 69. Sure, we're going to see Puka here eventually. And really some fun news out of LA. The Rams and Chargers blocked the Raiders from inviting the public to their training camp sessions in Costa Mesa. This is Ram Charger territory, so the rule is, yeah, you can come into town and train, but you can't advertise it. You can't invite the public without the approval of the teams that own that territory. And I'm not so sure the Raiders realize that. They're the type of organization that would just trip over themselves and do something silly like this. Not a good look. And I'm guessing they won't be training in the LA area again. Chris Trapazzo of USA Today unveiled his all-rookie preseason team. And, there were a couple of Rams on there. Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, both second team. I haven't done a path to the playoffs yet for the Rams. We'll be doing that all season long as the wins, mostly wins hopefully, and a handful of losses trickle in. But looking at their schedule, I feel like it's really important that they come out of the gate and get to 3-2 at the end of September. So who do they play? The Lions, Cardinals, 49ers, Bears, and Packers. I'm thinking they should beat the Cardinals and Bears and get a win against one of those other three very good teams, Lions, 49ers, and Packers. If they lose one of those games, Cardinals or Bears, going to have to pick it up and steal an additional win from those three marquee teams. Now, we talked about Tutu Atwell on the roundtable about how he is going to be returning kicks. He also talked a lot about how he wants to stay with the Rams. He was on a podcast with John Johnson, both of them talking up LA and how much they love it here. And I think the biggest takeaway is they love the culture. They love playing for Sean McVay. So that was good to hear. So Matthew Stafford isn't holding out, but arguably the 49ers' best player, Trent Williams, is holding out. So a little bit more drama there up north. Nate Davis of USA Today, guy I really respect, he made his win-loss predictions for the NFL. He had the Eagles winning the NFC East with just a 10-7 record. The Falcons winning the South at 9-8. The Packers, he really loves the Packers. He sees them going 13-4. And the Niners, Rams finishing 1-2 in the West. So the 7 playoff teams would be the playoff field. The 49ers, Packers, Eagles, and Falcons as divisional champs. The Lions, Rams, and Bears as wild cards. And he had the Cowboys going 8-9. Ouch. And hey, when I run across really good content, when it's about the Rams, I like to point you towards it. Jump onto YouTube and look for this YouTube channel, Bootleg Football. They have a really good piece on our Los Angeles Rams, and they make a very good argument, an argument that I kind of make continuously on these podcasts and roundtables. The Rams are the model American sports franchise, how they are run, how exciting they are, their hires, their drafting, how they approach the game, how they approach the draft, the culture they have built, how their owner behaves, and how their general manager gets the job done. From top to bottom, the Rams are spot on in virtually every way. And on top of that, they're an extremely fun team to watch. So check it out, Bootleg Football. The Rams are the model American sports franchise. I think you're going to love it. Back in a second, and I'm going to talk about the questions I have, the questions I need answered during this Rams training camp. One question for each position group.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Think you know the Brooks Ghost? Think again. Introducing the all-new, better-than-ever Ghost 16. Now with nitrogen-infused cushioning for lightweight, supreme softness that feels good every step, every street, every single day. So go ahead, take your daily joyride in the all-new nitrogen-infused Ghost 16. It'll turn your everyday miles into everyday endorphins. Let's run there. Head to brooksrunning.com to learn more.
Training Camp 2024 basically underway, and I'm going to share with you questions that I have about this Rams team, one for each position group, basically, kind of a follow-on to our training camp preview that Ian, Paul, and I did the other day. Questions that all of us Ram fans are probably asking, and don't expect any answers. Probably won't get to that until possibly after the preseason. Question number one, we'll start with a quarterback. Does Stetson Bennett look like an NFL quarterback? He had moments in the preseason last year, and then we basically lost a year. He's back, seems to be in good shape mentally and physically. We got to see him on the field in the preseason. He's going to be our backup weeks 1 and 2. Is Stetson Bennett an NFL quarterback? Does he look the part? Because we may need him. Running back, what's the pecking order after Kyron and Blake? Ian, Paul, and I are all working under the assumption that Blake Corum's going to be number 2. Then you got Boston Scott and Ronnie Rivers and Zach Evans. The real question is, who's number 3, Scott or Rivers? And Boston Scott could be a return guy. I don't think that's going to affect his ability to be the number 3 running back. Hey, how often do we hope to see the number 3 running back? And, also, what's the future of Zach Evans? Ronnie Rivers and Boston Scott fighting for that number 3. Zach Evans, does he have a shot at all, or is he going to be a practice squad guy? Third question, the wide receivers, and Paul Wally got into this a little bit. We know who the top 3 are. Then it's Tutu, Tyler, and Jordan. Tutu Atwell, Tyler Johnson, and Jordan Whittington. Who was the number 4 guy? Paul is pretty convinced it's going to be Tutu, but he loves Tyler. I think Jordan is a year away. To be honest with you, I have no idea how this is going to play out. If you've been listening a little bit, you know how much I like Jordan Whittington. I like all 3 of these guys, though. They all have a different skill set. What is the pecking order going to be? And it could depend on the receiver roles they're playing and if one of them has to step up, who they're stepping up for. Tight end. Now, Ian is convinced Colby Parkinson is the starter. Davis Allen, not quite the blocker that Parkinson is, but I still think Davis Allen has a shot at sneaking in here and being the number 1 tight end. I think he's going to get a lot of snaps. I think it's going to be Parkinson. but I want to know how much Davis Allen has progressed, and does he have the ability to be a significant, consistent contributor on this offense? What's my question along the offensive line? Well, I think we know who our 5 starters are. And then, as we discussed in our preview, Joseph Nopum is that swing tackle. You know what? We could call him a swing guard. He could step in at virtually 4 of those spots, any position except center. I think he could step in. I don't know that he would step in as a guard, though. That depends on how other guys progress. My question is really, who is the backup, especially along the interior, after Joseph Nopum? They got Warren McClendon. He's penciled in as a backup right tackle right now. I think he could play on the inside, though. There's K.D. Leviston, the rookie. Bo Brimmer, the backup center. Logan Bruss, is he even still part of the equation? Who is that 7th offensive lineman, especially after Nopum? Who's the second backup tackle, and who is going to back up the 2 guard positions? Defensive line, pretty straightforward question for me. Can Tyler Davis be a part of this rotation? You know, in the past, the Rams have drafted defensive linemen around that spot. Think of Sebastian Joseph Day, Jonathan Franklin Myers, Greg Gaines. It was a while before any of them contributed. They gave up on Franklin Myers. Even Bobby Brown, still kind of waiting on him a little bit, although Sean McVay sounded pretty hopeful in his press conference. Hopeful that Bobby Brown has turned the corner and is going to be the guy in the middle of that defense. But we need someone else. We got Corey Durden. We got Laurel Murchison. I'm hoping Tyler Davis can be a part of this rotation sooner rather than later. I don't want to wait till 2025 for him to emerge. He needs to contribute this year. What's my question with this edge group? It's really about how Michael Hoyt is going to be used. Sean McVay kind of alluded to that they need to do a better job of using him in a way that utilizes his skill set. They were really exposing him, didn't do him any favors, had to drop back in coverage a lot and got burned a lot. So they're still calling him an edge, I guess. But what kind of edge rusher is he going to be? What's his role going to be on this defense? We got a bunch of guys that can contribute to this pass rush outside of Hoyt. Byron Young, Jared Verse, Brennan Jackson, Nick Hampton, O'Shawn Mathis. How is Hoyt going to be used? Inside linebacker, I had this question all loaded up. Paul Wally kind of stole my thunder the other day, but that's okay. Can someone step up and be an impact player besides Jones? And Ian pointed out in our training camp preview that, Christian Roseboom is actually a decent player, and he doesn't get the respect he deserves. But I still think we could use an impact player, a guy that can bring splash plays from that position. And again, whoever this is, they're probably going to be out there for about 25% of the snaps, if that. But Paul thinks it could be Omar Speights. I don't think it's going to be Troy Reeder or Jake Hummel, so we may have to hope Speights is the guy. And that's my question. Is he the guy? Is he the guy that can emerge and maybe push Christian Roseboom for snaps? And what's my question at cornerback? Now, full disclosure, I had all my notes ready. It was going to be about who is the number 2 cornerback opposite of Darius Williams if Trey White can't go week 1. My candidates were Darion Kendrick and Kobe Durant. There's some other guys on this roster that could push for that job. But now with this horrible news, Darion Kendrick, the injury, now it's a question of who the next man up is. It's got to be Kobe Durant. But then on the flip side, we also learn that Trey White was a full participant. So now my question is, how healthy is he? Is he really going to be able to go week 1? That would be really big for this Rams defense. D. Will and Trey White as our starting corners. And, safety, we have talked about this so much. The question is pretty obvious. Who are the starters back there? How are they going to deploy Quentin Lake? What role is Russ Yeast going to have? Who's the starting safety next to Cameron Curl? Pretty obvious. And we have talked about that ad nauseum. So I'm going to leave it right there for now. I have 3 questions regarding the special teams. Number 1 is who's kicking off. Ian and Paul are convinced it's going to be Ethan Evans, even though his big leg is pretty much neutralized under the new rules. But he's a guy that can tackle, and you're going to need kickers that can play defense with these new rules, an extra defender. And Ethan Evans is a big dude, a strong dude, and that would give him a notch over Joshua Carty in that department. But not sure what the Rams are thinking. The second question is, who are the returners? We discussed this during our training camp preview as well. Our guesses are Boston Scott as the punt returner and Tutu Atwell announcing on that podcast that he's the kick returner. You know what? That's not good enough for me. I'm sure they've had conversations. For Tutu to say that in public, that must be the deal, but I'll believe it when I see it. Not doubting it, just need to see it. I think there's still going to be a competition there. And my last special teams question, and this may be one of the most important questions of all, is Joshua Carty accurate from outside 40 yards? Hey, you know what? Is he consistent and accurate from 30 to 40 yards? Can he make the kicks he's supposed to make? 40 to 50 would be nice. Better be super accurate inside of 40 yards. Yeah, sure. We'd love for him to hit 56 and 58 yarders. That would be icing on the cake. We just need a kicker that can make the kicks they're supposed to make. Hey, we can live with a miss now and then, but we can't deal with what we saw last year. Joshua Carty, is he accurate inside, let's say, 45 yards, and can he hit the occasional long one as well? And the knock on him was very consistent, but when you start getting outside the 50-yard line, had some misses from out there, and you're not going to crucify him for that. But hey, this is the NFL. We need better. Boy, did Greg the Leg and Matt Gay spoil us. They absolutely did. So Joshua Carty, please step up. Relieve some stress for us Ram fans. Go out there and nail some 50-yarders in the preseason. And if not that, just be consistent inside of 45. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.